Now, I don't get depressed. I get a lot of stuff, but I don't get depressed. And I was depressed for 3 days, and my wife said, this is not you. Maybe you should go see your internist. So I go to my doctor. He checks me out. He sends me across to my cardiologist, who did an echocardiogram. That was at about 5 minutes of 12, because I remember the time. That night, my buddy was taking me out for lobster and martinis at a local place, and my phone rang. It was raining, and he wasn't there yet, and it was my cardiologist who said, James, I have to tell you something. I know you're a hardhead, but you have to hear what I'm saying. You have less than a month to live, maybe. I said, what are you talking about? I feel great. He said, you have an aortic aneurysm. You have to get a valve replacement. So I went in and had a couple martinis. I'm not shy to tell you that. And then I had to tell my wife, and I went into what one goes into if you've confronted any of this stuff. Total fear, because mortality is right down there. And I realized within a few days that I had to focus, like I had you do with the lemon, focus on something that would take the attention off myself. So I decided, what if I could create a program with some help with a team that would help other people with this? And over the next year, after I healed enough to do this, I started interviewing surgeons and doctors and nurses, and it was just incredible experience, because out of that came a workshop and a CD called Patient Pre-Op Post-Op Healing Therapy. And here's what it does. It has 4 things. And understand, this is all with the mind. Everything you've heard today, this is all part of the imagination, all part of focus. It's not me. I just use skills that I had from the past and learned some new ones. Number 1, it takes away all fear before surgery. Imagine in any situation if we could take away fear. All fear before surgery, so the adrenaline, the cortisol doesn't pop out. 2, it moves blood flow away from the point of incision at the beginning of surgery and brings it back at the end through suggestion. This is all possible. I knew that before, but I didn't know that it could work to this depth. 3, 40% less narcotics, 25% faster healing. Now, how does that work? Well, we go back to what was the most important about the 5 traits of leaders. Let's look at vision. Let's look at vision of the future. Let's look at vision of wellness in the future. How powerful is that? When Jeff was talking, I was thinking the ability to look at any goal in the ideal end result. Now, I should explain the ideal end result means that when you project in the future, you're not just like looking at a movie screen. Some people say it doesn't work. What you have to do is you have to jump in the future, and you have to see, feel, and be everything that you have set for the goal. So I call it the ideal end result. And it never fails. That means if you project in the future and you see yourself doing things that you wouldn't normally do, you see yourself healing, something happens in the brain. Something happens to speed up healing.